playing your favorite artists all morning long.
Hey, this is Patrick from Fall Out Boy.
This is Andy Grammer.
This is Ariana Grande, and you're listening to
KJ and Kirby on My 96.
You know, it never fails. Every spring, usually towards the end of May or the beginning of June, maybe on a Monday, we always get people call us or hit us up on social media and say, hey, wait a minute, the police auction was Saturday. How come nobody told me? How come this all happened without me knowing? Well, now we're letting you know. I want to get Scott Schnell on the show here from the MHPS. Scott, how are you this morning, my friend?
No, I'm fantastic. How about you, Kim?
Good. Now, are you civilian or are you actually a member of the force, or where are you coming at this from?
I'm a civilian worker. I'm one of the 2 property clerks that we have working down at the MHPS.
Now, why do we need a property clerk there? What's your job?
Well, our whole job is to make sure that anything that's taken in by the police service, anything that's found or seized or anything that might come into our custody, we have to make sure that we keep it safe and that it's needed and we can find it when it has to go someplace.
Okay, so hopefully if somebody has something stolen, they will make a report and try to claim it. And usually we do reconnect people with their stuff that way. However, you know, sometimes for whatever reason, people don't file it missing. And it's a big old mystery, isn't it?
Well, it can be, yeah. And every year we have a big variety of different things that come into our custody, and it's time to clear off the shelves, I'm afraid. We're running out of space.
That's right. Just eliminate the clutter a little bit. Now, tell me this. I would imagine that sometimes there are some unusual things that are auctioned off. In your time, what are maybe some of the strangest things that you've had to find a new home for?
I wouldn't say strange. I don't think there's anything that comes into our custody that's really, really way out there. We come into custody of all sorts of things. We can have anything from bikes and wallets that are found and turned in to stuff that's seized and nobody is allowed to have back. It's ordered forfeit, things like that. But I don't think I really stumbled across anything really bizarre that we had to get rid of.
Has it ever happened where somebody's actually gone to the auction and says, wait a minute, that is my bike? Does that happen?
Yeah,
or is it too late? Is it too late by that point?
No, we actually just had somebody last week that came in and said, hey, I looked on the auction site and there is my bike and I have it back. And sure as heck, yeah, here you go. We had to pull it off the auction list.
Isn't that crazy? Okay. Hey, so give me the rundown this Saturday then. Like I say, people always say, how come I didn't know about this? Let's let them know. Give me a few things that they're going to find at the police auction on Saturday. Tell me there's going to be some cars.
We don't do the cars.
Don't do the cars.
That's normally done off by the City of Medicine Hat. They'll organize off of their own fleet. The Medicine Hat Police Service doesn't have a seized impound lot, so that'll handle through a different source and sometimes head up to Calgary with auctions like that. We won't have any cars, but in this case, we've got about 110 bicycles that nobody's laid claim to. And if we look on our auctioneer's website, it's AuctionAction.ca. all lowercase and no spaces, and they've got a picture of all the items that we have in there. But some of the things you're going to see, we've got some clothing, including some Lululemon, some Columbia, some Nike, lots of iPods that have been turned in, radar detectors, digital cameras, some eye readers. Of course, our police service is going to be purging some electronic devices, some old computers that we don't use anymore, some laptops, some of the data terminals that we use within the police cruisers. They're tough books. They're really, really good laptops, but of course none of those can have any hard drives.
That's right. Man, there's
Power
some
tools, tool bags. We even have some faucets. They're brand new in the box coming out with things like that.
Well, you know what?
Sporting goods.
It sounds like there is some unusual stuff that I wouldn't have expected. Hey, call me crazy. I wouldn't have expected the auction to include a radar detector.
Oh, no. Well, it's just one of those things that they, of course, somebody has gone in and stolen and nobody's come down to claim or come down to say, hey, this is mine.
Yeah. All right. Hey, once again, that's Scott Schnell from the MHPS, the police auction coming up on Saturday. The viewing at 9, auction at 10, all that stuff is going to be auctioned off. I'd imagine some of it you'll be able to get a very, very good deal on. But more info at AuctionAction.ca. Did I get that right?
Yeah, you got that just right. And just for anybody that's curious, it's going to be held across the Medicine Hat Police Service main door station. There's a small fenced-in compound across the street from there. And there's lots of parking, and we should have the Captain Pork Truck there as well if anybody needs to have a coffee and a donut before they lay into some barbecue pork.
It's so cliche, I'm not even going to touch it.
We try not to advertise a giant pink pig in front of the police station.
Scott,